Well, an unexpected surprise came my way today. As you can see here, it's an Amiga 500. Just looking at it visually, it looks to be in really good shape. It isn't yellow. I don't know what the original color was, but this definitely isn't yellowed. It's clean overall. There is something back along the back edge here. Almost looks like, well, it's rust. There's definitely rust on the RF shielding. This may be rust is here, and I saw some down here, so there may be rust inside. Again, we'll find out when we open it up. It's got both the trapdoor and the side covers on it. So I know nothing about it beyond it came my way today. So I thought we'd open it up, take a look inside, and go from there. So let's just jump into it and see what we've got. Well, there's no RAM expansion, so that's fine. Half expected there to be one in there, but there wasn't, and that's just not a problem. Let's see if I can figure out how to remove this side cover. I don't honestly know how it comes out. I don't want to break it. There's a little, is that a latch? Well, maybe I'll wait till we get the skins off to see how that's mounted. It doesn't have a security sticker on it, so I assume it has been opened at some point previously. If I can find the proper tools here to open the thing. That's actually a nut driver. They are Torx head. I might have a large enough bit in this set. We'll find out. Seems a little small. Well, we'll move up to the next set of bits and have a little broader selection. Sorry, I bumped the camera rig. Sorry about that. Well, it's not a T15. Doesn't look like a T10. I think it is a T10. Never been inside of an Amiga 500 before. I mean, you saw me go through the build with that motherboard I repaired, but I've never actually opened the case on one before, so this is a new experience for me. Well, the positions of the case screws are pretty obvious. And of course, if this motherboard's toast, we have the motherboard I repaired that can be transplanted into the case. Last screw doesn't want to come loose. There it is. So let's flip it over. The top should now lift off, as it has. As you can see, there's a lot of rust back here. It's almost like this has been sitting down in water. A lot of rust along the back of the case, transferred to the plastic. But the plastics overall look to be in really good shape. And, you know, worst case, say if we use the other motherboard, that's fine. No, it's got a different connector on the keyboard than the motherboard I've got. The keyboard looks to be in really nice overall shape. That's an interesting ground strap there. Release that. idea if the keyboard's operational. This keyboard's got this little pin connector. You know, it's not the 0.1 spacing. Can't think what the name of the connector is. This is, you know, this is a dedicated connector rather than just that 0.1 inch pin, you know, spaced pin, blah 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 connector like I had on the other keyboard and motherboard. We'll keep going here. Release the floppy drive. Very much like an Atari ST here underneath for the floppy screws. Oh yeah, I'm seeing more hints of rust. I think it's definitely seen better times. If I can get that drive cable to come loose. A little bit of rust on the drive frame, on the mounts on it. If I can get the floppy cable to release here. I'm not going to have any luck with that. Looks like there's a couple of screws over here for that edge connector. I would assume there's one up here. Okay, a little screw. Well, that is a caught between the two pieces of RF shielding. Looks like this bit of RF shielding is independent. And of course, rust on it. I think this has definitely seen a wet environment. So it still feels like something is attached someplace. Definitely still something solid holding the board in. Well, the next thing we'll do is attack the RF shielding here. I managed to twist this one, I didn't mean to. There's of course the processor. Oops, 3 more tabs over here. See, this is my first time actually opening up a 500, first time ever seeing the RF shielding on one. My only 500 experience is that motherboard that we repaired in a previous video. Kind of expecting that to come up off now. Oh, there's one more tab there. Lots of rust back here. Now the motherboard itself is really clean. This rust seems to really be almost all on the RF shielding. A little bit here inside. Oh, that's interesting. The keyboard connector is still the 0.1 pins. It was just the connector on the keyboard isn't truly the right connector for those style of pins, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get the floppy drive loose. Drive itself is really clean. I think I've got a floppy laying in here we can pop in and out. Mechanism is nice and solid. That's a good sign. What still has you I don't see any screws off the bottom. Something's obviously still got a bite. Oh, there's a... Is it snap down in? Is that what's going on here on this little pin? How is that supposed to come loose from there? That's... Without me breaking that little pin off. Like that. Definitely something with a grip over here still. Get the floppy cable out of the way. That motherboard is really clean. There it came. And as you can see, that rust, you know, that might actually be coffee or something that was spilled inside of there. It's then led to the rust. I'm sure that can be cleaned out of there. I guess I'll find out. Motherboard itself is pretty clean underneath, it looks like. Definitely going to want to address all this rust. Which ones are actually capturing in the... So not all of these are captured in the, or capturing the RF shielding. Break these loose over here, maybe. Yeah, that's definitely some kind of fluid that has led to some rust. Looks like two of them over here. I have washers underneath them. Just completely rusted out. I think that might release the motherboard from the lower RF shield. Oh yeah, that's really nasty inside. Definitely been something spilled. But it looks to me like All of that is underneath the plastic, which is good. It's not all over the back of the PCB. You know, a little bit's gotten up through, maybe. You know, not bad. Not bad for what it is. Overall, really clean inside, besides, you know, that little bit of fluid that was spilled. It's a A500 motherboard. This is a little concerning here, whether it's just rust or actually corrosive action. I don't know. I don't really know what this material is. But it doesn't seem to have etched anything underneath it. It's just laying on the surface. Little alcohol. And that wiped the surface rust directly off of there. Cleaned whatever that was off. Let's see if it'll take the rust off down here. And those traces aren't etched. Again, whatever this was, at least wasn't corrosive enough to etch away these traces. Don't know what this flaky material is. Again, it's certainly wiped off easy enough. Let's see if this is just surface on here as well. It should be. And of course the mess where the rust has come from the RF shielding up here and just absolutely made a mess. I don't know how much of it is just surface and will wipe off. Actually, it's looking like this chromed or stainless steel on these connectors will actually clean up somewhat. Well, not bad. While we're here playing, let's take a look at this nastiness. See if we can determine what it is. So this will, with a bit of work, clean up. I suspect water may be a better solvent than alcohol for this. It really looks like coffee to me that's created rust. I think this is just going to be yeah, you saw me scuff it up. Again, these will clean up with some work. There's certainly rust, but most of this is just going to wash off. So it's just a matter of me taking the time to scrub it. So the real question becomes, will this motherboard post? As I see no physical reasons why it shouldn't. I guess the next step is power supply and video and see if we can get it to post. So I'll get that set up and we'll come back. Well, given the great condition of the motherboard, I've gone ahead and hooked the keyboard with the unit up, the motherboard. I've got the floppy drive sitting over here isolated. I've got a scan doubler back here on the corner hooked up. You make a power supply and a monitor here. Move the camera rig out of the way. The lights in the camera rig are creating glare. Well, that's going to have to be good enough. So let's just do an all-ups test. I have no idea what's going to happen. Hopefully not smoke and fire. So power's on. Can you believe it? I've inserted the floppy. It is reading it. I can hear the head stepping. Oh, that's just crazy. It's booting. Yep, there's no battery backed up clock. I think I'm going to want to open that floppy drive up and take a look inside it. Sounds a little funky. But no, it's cranking away down here. Assuming you can hear that. Well, I'm absolutely blown away that this thing works. And we're to Workbench. Very nice. So we know we get this far. So really cool. Wow. I didn't actually plug a mouse in. I guess I could. Let me add a mouse on and we'll see what happens. You know, the only mouse I've got laying around up here is this tank mouse. It's got this crazy right angle connector back here. So I've got the motherboard propped up on a roll of tape. The mouse does work. And we can open up the Workbench. I think with some cleaning, this will be a complete system. Not sure what I just ran. And there's a clock. Very nice. Well, for a fluke find, just kind of unexpected out of the blue, this is a fully operational Amiga 500. It needs some cleaning. Obviously you saw whatever was spilled and the rust from what was spilled inside of it. But at this point the motherboard's clean. I'm sure it could be recapped at some point. I'll probably do that. It seems fully operational. I mean, it booted. Floppy drive, besides making a bit of a weird noise when it's accessed, seems fine. That noise may be normal. I'm actually surprised. So I guess I will wrap this video here up at this point. Not a whole lot more to tell here besides, figuring out how to clean stuff. Anyhow, we'll talk soon.